Public Meeting Act of 1975 was enacted to ensure the rights of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of the public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, Harrison Township Board of Education has caused notice of the meetings to be published by having the dates, time, and place thereof posted on the Harrison Township School District website, at the Harrison Township School Building, and mailed to the Township Municipal Clerk, the South Jersey Times, and the Courier Post. The regular meeting of the Harrison Township Board of Education will be called to order at 7 p.m. on Monday, March 23rd, 2026. Roll call.
Todd Baron. Here. Tim Bast. Here. Jennifer Bowen.
Here.
Walter Bright.
Here.
John Cavanaugh.
Here.
Janette Coslop.
Here.
Colleen Kendrick. Alexis Rubino.
Here.
Shannon Williams.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Please stand for the flag salute. And pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is the President's Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. For Board of Education members who may be new to this process or newer to the process, we present the proposed annual school budget for the Board of Education members in our March meeting. So it gives you an opportunity to get a little bit of background, understand the overall numbers, state aid experience that we had for the particular year, and then we send that document to the county. And then in April, traditionally, we have a public hearing on our school budget. So that's, this evening's presentation is specifically for our Board of Education members, while members of our Finance Committee that are here this evening, Mr. Bright, Mrs. Bowen, Mr. Cavanaugh, Mrs. Williams, obviously had a little bit more information on the development of the budget and the process we used and the full Board of Education, as we are a board of committee. The purpose of this evening is to bring everyone on the Board of Education up to speed on exactly where we are. The timeline of developing the budget is similar from year to year. We start meeting as a committee, a finance committee, together with myself and Mr. DeSanto, beginning in November or December of each year. And then we develop through that process and we attempt to develop the school budget based on a number of different scenarios that may be put in front of us once we finally get our state aid numbers from the governor that year. Just like many other years, our finance committee started meeting in December of 2025 and met continuously through February of 2026 to do just that. Governor's budget address occurred on March 10th. Which was a little later than we were typically used to, which happens when there's an administration change at the state level. So that budget address was pushed back to March 10th, and leading up to that, speaking very frankly, there was a lot of press released that there would be historic funding for public schools in this year's budget. On Thursday, March 12th, as expected, all New Jersey public schools received information on exactly what state aid their individual school district would be realizing for the 26-27 fiscal year. Once again, the Harrison Township School District was not only cut, but we were cut the most of anyone in the state again. So there were 93 school districts out of the 574. 93 of them got cut the full 3%, and once again, Harrison Township and Clearview were on that list of 93. We were cut $158,000 again. Just some general facts that you have in front of you there. 93 districts were cut the full 3%. 400 of the 574 districts received an increase in state aid. So the vast majority of school districts received some type of increase in state aid. And again, that there's the 16%, which both Harrison Township and Clearview fall in, that received the maximum 3% out of anyone in the state. Keep in mind, as we continue to talk about the development of this budget and what we're putting forth at the county level and in our public hearing in April, that regardless of what we are cut every year, we are only permitted to raise taxes 2%. So you'll hear that we continue to be cut at the maximum amount of any district in the state because Harrison Township isn't paying their local fair share. But in order to pay our local fair share, we can only do it 2% at a time. So we'll continue to give that. They continue to follow the same process that they're following or formula that they're following. We will continue to get cut because we can only inch up to what they consider our local fair share at 2% at a time. So it's important that we do understand that. In order to find the budget shortfall again, we look at our largest spending, which is staffing technology. So we started, as we have every year, with our position control roster, which that is all of the positions in the school district that we are funding with the budget. And each year, for various reasons, that position control roster has positions on it that aren't filled by employees. And that could be for a number of reasons. Need for certain support staff, aides, transportation staff, drivers, support staff through the transportation department, that we hold positions on our positions control roster and therefore fund those positions, but they are not being, those positions aren't being held by actual colleagues of ours. So that's the first place we start. Now obviously some of those positions can't just be cut off the control roster, and some of those include our support staff in the classroom, special education support staff, aides positions that we are holding for a potential need of our students that aren't filled currently. We can't just cut that off the position control roster. Even though nobody's filling the position right now, it doesn't mean that necessity won't rise tomorrow or a week from now. So we were able to cut staffing from the position control roster, mostly from our transportation department. So we're able to ensure with reasonable certainty that those positions will not need to be filled for the 26-27 school year, knowing what we know about the number of students that we have in the district and the number of buses that we need to run and get the students to and from school safely. So we did cut staffing, but from the position control roster only. Technology, for those Board of Education members that were here for this conversation of the tax levy incentive during the 25-26 development of the current school budget, we increased our technology spending to finance what we need in that area to support student growth and learning in the classroom by $250,000. And we were developing that and raising our tax base through that tax levy incentive, that $250,000 will then become part of our base budget that we can budget for every year. So our technology purchases obviously would be funded appropriately. We cut significantly from that $250,000 budget that we just got last year. We were able to make purchases out of the current budget for next year's needs. So we are able to offset a little over $95,000 out of the 25-26 budget. Again, that's through fiscal responsibility and needs, meeting our needs, being as responsible as possible in the current budget. We're able to purchase some of the things that we are going to need for the 26-27 school year at the conclusion of this school year. And another positive to that, outside us getting the materials, would be that we are getting them at the 25-26 prices, because speaking to the technology specialist and our full technology department, we're fully expecting a fairly significant price increase for technology purchases for the 26-27 school year. So the fact that we're able to use the current budget to make those purchases is a twofold positive. We're able to get them because they have to be cut out of the budget for next year, but we're also able to get them at the current prices, which again, we're predicting would be significantly less than what we would pay for next year. I've touched on a little bit for local fair share. The Harrison School District continues to get cut state aid yearly. We have for over a decade now, at this point being held harmless just because of how low our adequacy was. There are a couple of years in there. The reason for this, according to the state of New Jersey, is that the Harrison Township taxpayers are not paying local fair share, again, determined by their formula. Therefore, until the town contributions increase at a pace of only 2% a year, which is what is allowable, we may continue to get cut state every single year until we're almost fully funded by local taxpayers. Some of the other things that we continue to focus on to keep spending down each year is shared services. You'll see on the right-hand side of this document that I provided for you the shared services that we have. Our diesel and regular gasoline with Clearview. Transportation maintenance is completed by Kingsway. Utilities, including electrical and natural gas, we get through ACES. We're going to talk a little bit about that this evening. Trash removal is done by Harrison Township. Salt, we also have a purchase agreement for the winter months with Harrison Township. Liability and workman's comp, the EIRC consortium, and health benefits are funded through the school health insurance fund, which is a consortium. Our admin costs continue to be one of the lowest in the area. Our admin costs for the 25-26 school year, $1,714 per pupil, which is slightly down from the 24-25 year. Harrison Township remains one of the lowest, 18% lower than the county average. The county average is $2,078 per child in administrative costs. We are 18% lower than that. Speaking of adequacy earlier, we continue to be functioning well under what is considered the adequacy level. We're at this point, we're $5,188,000 under adequacy. Specifically, our total budget spending is $17,929,000, and the state's calculation for our district's adequacy is at $23,117,000. So once again, functioning far below what the state even considers adequately. Just on the back, you'll see some information, talking points of the community. Despite over 10 years of budget cuts, our schools obviously continue to do well. We've seen that over the last year. Certainly for more than a decade, our district has faced repeated reductions in state funding. This year, Pleasant Valley School was ranked #1 among all county schools and has also been recognized as one of only 6. There were 6 schools, the middle level in New Jersey, that were listed, that were named new New Jersey schools to watch in 2026. So Pleasant Valley School is one of those 6. But again, we're also one of 94 that got cut the most out of anybody in this state. So unfortunately, those two things don't seem to continually don't match. But we are focused on being as financially responsible as possible, which is certainly assisting us in all areas. This year, the focus really is the area of technology and how that fiscal responsibility has allowed us to make those purchases. The other documents that I provided for the Board of Education, the one looks like this. And this is a list of all of the county schools and exactly how much those county schools have lost or gained over the last 3 years. So these are listed alphabetically, but you'll notice like Clayton Borough over the last 3 years have gotten 21.8 additional monies, and then there's Clearview who has lost 23.4% of their total funds. Greenwich Township an additional 22%, Glassboro an additional 22%, Gateway an additional 20%, Monterey Township an additional 20%, Paulsboro Borough an additional 19.9%, Sweetboro Woolwich 15%, and like I said, you obviously can also see the other school districts besides us and Clearview. We're down 6% over the last 3 years, but one of the main reasons we're down 6% is because of being held harmless in 24-25 because of our adequacy level. So that's just, again, general information I'm providing to you as Board of Education members. I've also provided it to representatives at the township leadership level, just so that you have this information should you get into conversations with our local taxpayers or fellow community members about school funding and what it looks like with not only within our own community, but also with neighboring communities. Because again, I think it's important to have the full picture when you're having those conversations. Does anyone have any questions about the 26-27 school budget?
I mean, it's all over the place, right? We've got 20% increases, 20% decreases over the last 3 years. Is there an opportunity for the county to take on some leadership and build something like a technology consortium where all of the districts could be negotiating to buy? Have they shown any interest in anything like that?
Yes, we have opportunities for buying that we have over the years teamed up with consortiums within the county or even within multiple counties for technology purchases. And I know that Mr. Shank continues to look for those opportunities and is working pretty closely with our suppliers to ensure that he's getting the lowest price. What he certainly has guaranteed us is that making as much of our purchase for the 26-27 school year now is going to be our best option. Now, whether the I can't recall, and Chris, I'm not sure that you would have this information, this historical information, but I can certainly get it, on when the last time was we made any large purchases through that Dell consortium that we had within the county, but it was definitely around the 2020 range, the 2020.
Yeah, so if we're saying that we're anticipating more increases going forward, you know, it's probably not gonna stop, right? It's just gonna keep doubling down, those prices aren't gonna go down, so. Like, it would be nice if maybe the county would take some leadership in maybe helping.
Yeah, and I don't know that it was the county that took the leadership, it was actually the individual technology supervisors and administrators that worked together for larger purchases, especially for the smaller districts. Any other questions?
So next is the first participation. Please wait to be recognized, state your full name and address, identify the agenda item you wish to comment on, limit your comments to specific items, no 3 minutes for your comments. Anyone? Okay. Next is the approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve them? I'll make that motion. Thanks, Alexis. Second?
I'll second.
Walter? Any comments or questions about the minutes? Roll call?
Todd Baron.
Abstain.
Tim Bast.
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen.
Yes.
Walter Bright.
Yes.
John Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Janette Coslop.
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick.
Yes.
Alexis Rubino.
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next is the committee reports. First is finance, Walter.
There's nothing new to report after hearing the already stated report.
Nothing for curriculum, personnel. Tim?
Nothing to report.
Negotiations, Jen? Nothing to report. Board development, Todd?
Nothing at this point to report.
Janette, public relations? Nothing to report. Alexis, school safety? Nothing to report. Colleen, shared services? Nothing yet. John, education?
Nothing.
Any delegate or representative reports? There are 2 items under correspondence and under business administration. I need a motion to include the agenda, the addendum into the minutes. Okay, Colleen made the motions. Jen second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so that gives us 8 items under the business administrator's report. Can I get a motion to approve? Thanks, Walter. Second? Thanks, Alexis. Any comments or questions? Okay, roll call.
Todd Baron.
Yes.
Tim Bast.
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen.
Yes.
Walter Bright.
Yes.
John Cavanaugh. Janette Coslop.
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick.
Yes.
Alexis Rubino.
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We have 4 resolutions to approve. We have to approve them one by one. So we have the first resolution. Can I get a motion to approve? I'll make that motion. Thanks, Jen. Second? I'll second. Jeanette. Okay, comments or questions? Roll call.
Todd Baron.
Yes.
Tim Bast.
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen.
Yes.
Walter Bright.
Yes.
John Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Janette Coslop.
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick.
Yes.
Alexis Rubino.
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Resolution carries.
Okay. A motion for the second item under resolutions? Resolution to approve? I'll make that. Alexis?
I'll second.
Thanks, Todd.
Bast,
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen,
Yes.
Walter Bright,
Yes.
John Cavanaugh,
Yes.
Janette Coslop,
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick,
Yes.
Alexis Rubino,
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Resolution carries.
I need a motion for the third item on the resolutions.
I'll make that motion.
Jeanette?
I'll second.
Jen? Comments or questions? Roll call?
Todd Baron,
Yes.
Tim Bast,
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen,
Yes.
Walter Bright,
Yes.
John Cavanaugh,
Yes.
Janette Coslop,
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick,
Yes.
Alexis Rubino,
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes. And finally, the fourth resolution, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Is that Colleen?
Yep.
Colleen? Thanks. Second?
I'll second it.
Walter?
Yes.
Comments or questions?
Is this available to review?
Meaning the referendum?
Yeah,
Scope
like
of
what the
work.
scope of work is exactly.
Yeah, we went over it with the Buildings and Grounds Committee,
Right.
and if anybody would like a copy of whatever's on there, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that, just so that you're aware, that scope of work could be amended throughout the process depending on prices that come in, and needs of the buildings and the work that needs to be done that may change between now and then.
Right.
So when we're looking at the referendum, we're looking at obviously a vote on a referendum in 2026, and then should it pass, we would look for the work to be done in the summer of 2027 and the summer of 2028.
Right.
So this is just the initial scope of work.
Yeah, so we can see that list.
Yep.
Anyone else? Roll call?
Todd Baron,
Yes.
Tim Bast,
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen,
Yes.
Walter Bright,
Yes.
John Cavanaugh,
Yes.
Janette Coslop,
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick,
Yes.
Alexis Rubino,
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Resolution carries.
Okay. Next, the superintendent's report. Under personnel, there are 5 items for approval. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Jeanette, second. Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Todd Baron,
Yes.
Tim Bast,
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen,
Yes.
Walter Bright,
Yes.
John Cavanaugh,
Yes.
Jeanette Coslop,
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick,
Yes.
Alexis Rubino,
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
There are 2 items under education. Can I get a motion to approve them?
I'll make the motion.
Thanks, Jen. Second.
I'll second. I mean,
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Todd Baron,
yes.
Tim Bast,
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen,
Yes.
Walter Bright,
Yes.
John Cavanaugh,
Yes.
Janette Coslop,
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick,
Yes.
Alexis Rubino,
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
There are 6 items under administration. Can I get a motion to approve?
So, before we do that, are we done discussing the calendar? for-
No.
Okay.
No, when we do the motions, then I have the calendars that are in front of you, that we'll discuss before we vote.
I think this.
That's what we're
doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do.
We have to get a motion
Yeah.
first and then the discussion. Yep.
So we just need a motion.
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay.
There we go.
Just want to
And I
get right to
guess
discussion.
Todd wants a second. Okay. Okay. So, discussion?
Yes. So, Board of Education members, you have the draft calendar in front of you that we discussed last month. And this is the calendar that was sent out to the school community after our February meeting. And to allow our families to take a look at it and to provide any feedback. I also let the community know that we would be discussing it again today. Clearview has their draft calendar as a Board of Education, but their board meeting is Wednesday. So that they're planning on taking action, at this point, planning on taking action for the 2026-27 calendar on Wednesday. Just to provide a little bit of information, I received, after sending that out to like 1,600 people, 2 supporting the calendar, and the other 7 asking if we can make a suggestion to start the students after Labor Day and have a shorter spring break. Most of those 7 emails focused on just starting after Labor Day, and some actually provided suggestions on where to find the additional days. But generally, you have less than 1% of people responded back on the calendar. Additionally, I have a survey that was put out a couple of weeks ago to all of the superintendents. Now, a couple of weeks ago, meaning this was before many of our superintendents and Board of Educations acted upon the 26-27 school calendar. So 26 superintendents received it, 17 superintendents responded. So we don't have everybody, but 17 out of the 26 did respond on what they were planning for the first day for students. And 15 of those 17, so 15 out of the total 26 are starting the students before Labor Day, and that's out of the county. The only 2 that answered that at the time, the only 2 that answered the survey and are starting students after Labor Day are Glassboro and Logan. So everyone else that responded had planned on starting the students before Labor Day, and again, obviously the reason is because Labor Day is so late this year. So after speaking in February, I did say I would come back to the Board of Education with that feedback. Another piece of information, obviously we've discussed it before, there's been years where school districts were penalized for overall student attendance, so I think it's important to keep that in mind, although that's not done every year, so that's kind of a moving target with the state from a funding standpoint, but we do have surrounding school districts who lost significant funding because their overall student attendance fell under that 90%. So just to give you a bit of a picture, on March 16th, Clearview did not have school. Harrison Township had school. So there was, we weren't matched. And the week before, on Monday, Harrison had 50 absent, PBS had like 45 absent. And on March 16th, the date that we had school and Clearview did not, HTS had 91 absent and PBS had 74 absent. So that was just a snapshot. There could be a number of reasons for that absence. I did send out an email as soon as that decision was made to clearly let parents know that we would have school on that date. We were making that up a snow day on that date. So parents were well informed by an email that was just sent for that purpose. It was also added to our principals' weekly updates. Obviously, teachers are all telling the students they'll see you Monday in school, we have school. So it could be that families made plans thinking that we were gonna have off and then the snow day jumped in the way of that. Or it could be that the older children in the family were off, so the younger students were kept home too. I can tell you this is just one day, and there could be a lot of reasons for it. I'm not saying that that's, but I will tell you that historically, when one of our districts has school and the other one doesn't, meaning ourselves and Clearview, the district who is in session has a tremendously higher attendance rate, absentee rate than typical, which is completely understandable in a regional situation like this. So it's important to keep that in mind. As of now, Clearview is planning on having that full week off for spring break. So I think it's just important for you to know that if we have our high school district off for a week and we don't have off that week, we certainly have that right as an individual school district, but we will absolutely see a significant dip in attendance. I can fully predict that with a fair amount of certainty. So again, that's the information on the calendar. This is the calendar that is my recommendation at this point. Now keep in mind, if something, we can certainly table it till April, just to make sure that Clearview approves the calendar as is. That's completely up to you. But I will say, if Clearview moves forward with the calendar that is in a draft form right now, which includes starting the kids before Labor Day, with that full week off at spring break, that's going to be my recommendation for the calendar in front of you will be my recommendation for your approval.
So tonight, are we approving a draft?
No, or if you approve it, it becomes the calendar.
So
Now, that doesn't mean you can't change it. I mean, we've changed the calendar, which it did just this year, when we changed our snow days. So you can always change the calendar, but if you approve it, it becomes the calendar at least until you then approve to make a change to it. But again, the feedback for starting, when you think about the size of the district, the feedback for starting prior to Labor Day was very minimal. I mean, the number of people that emailed was pretty minimal. It's certainly up to the Board of Education on what you want to do, but your choice would be to approve tonight or delay it for a rediscussion after Clearview's had an opportunity to approve.
It has started before they did in the past? Because
Not during my time here, not the children. The children haven't started before Labor Day in the past.
Because it's so late in the cycle of sort of falls.
And the county is looking at potentially doing a countywide in-service for the upcoming school year, and that has pushed a lot of our districts in the county to start before Labor Day to get that date in as well.
I mean, obviously, I didn't when we table it until Clearview figures it out, because I mean, the feedback I received from people in the community was everyone's against this calendar.
My only concern with tabling it until after Clearview is that obviously each district acknowledges that one has influence over the other. And if we allow them to make the call, then they're at their mercy. I think as far as what we saw happen with the school, snow days, I think there was, a lot of people had plans and those plans, vacations or whatever it may be. That's, I mean, Clearview didn't confer with us as far as when to make up, they just kept tacking on to the end. So I think that if we defer until after they put their schedule in place, we're allowing them to make the call as opposed to just picking it ourselves and then forcing their hand.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't wanna follow what Clearview does, but I also don't wanna make the decision tonight.
What other information would you be waiting for? Because we gave the community a month. We gave the community a month to provide feedback. So I'm not gonna have any different information if you're not waiting for Clearview. I'm not gonna have different information next month.
Right.
Like, we have the majority of the county that's starting before Labor Day. It's not just Clearview. I know that Manchester is gonna be starting before Labor Day. So, I mean, that certainly is going away in Clearview's decision because they provide transportation for Angela. So again, doesn't matter to me if you table it or not, but I'm not sure what information I can provide next month that I don't already have, if it isn't clear.
Yeah, so that's the only area.
If we do this tonight, just have any vote, there's a way of knowing what it is. I think that Clearview would.
Absolutely.
I think chances are they're gonna do it.
Either way, I would go down and scope. If we really do need to make a change.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a
Oh, it's-
call, and they're not gonna follow us.
It is.
If they've already put theirs out, and then, we walk it back and say, oh, well, they would think, they're not gonna walk it back.
Is this more of a one-off, or is this just looking at how the cycle kind of works where it falls within the calendar? Would it continue this way for a couple of years, or would it kind of be 1 year and then we're looking down the road a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's just the 1 year that we would be having this discussion, but it's this way, yeah.
And I've always been, personally, I've always been a fan, less days off during the school year to elongate the break. That's, me personally, I would say, cut off April 1st and 2nd, and tack on the 2nd and 3rd of September, because it's vacation, starting.
Next year, so, yeah, only one day, there's one day different, so it'll probably be next
The
year.
question I was gonna ask is kind of related to that. So Easter next year, right, the spring recess is usually this Thursday, Friday, so is Easter the 4th next year? Or the?
No,
Easter next year would be the.
The 27th. 28th, yeah.
Because it's more than a week.
It is, it's 6 days off.
Like, if we could get one full day back there and take that half day and make it the 16th. A lot of the folks I talked to, I only had one person who liked the idea of starting before Labor Day. I got a lot of angry bird texts like, you guys are out of your mind, and I'm like, we're good time. But I think a lot of the folks that wanted to start before Labor Day had the expectation that would get us out earlier, and it doesn't. And so I think that was the trade-off for a lot of people. Like, those 2 days in April, we're still having this long of a school year, now the school year is longer because it starts before Labor Day. And we've got, I mean, if you count weekends, that's 10 days in April, that's a lot of days.
Plus, Chris also mentioned as a point, if we needed a snow day somewhere, we
It's
have
good
it.
at being into there.
We couldn't.
Well, we end on Tuesday, so we would put the snow days on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before we took it anywhere else.
Or take it out of that.
Yes, but historically, we've gone until Friday first.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question, if we don't approve this draft, there is no approving a different draft tonight, it's either approve this draft or.
Oh, not tonight.
Okay,
So
so
if
you'll
you
approve
want a
this
different draft, then I'll put the different draft together
That
and
would be next
bring it.
time.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we don't approve this draft tonight, then Clearview has their meeting Wednesday.
Yep.
Is it possible to have like draft 1, draft 2 for us to compare or no? Or to see what's right?
No,
In the future?
Uh-huh. Yep, for sure.
But in the county as a general, as a whole,
Oh, yeah, counties all started, yep. And I would bet that way more than that 15 is gonna start before Labor Day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we don't share kids with the whole county. We share kids with, and the majority of the county also has a week off at Easter. We haven't, I think, maybe one time in the 17 years I've been doing this, that we've had a full week off, so it's not like we follow the county in every
I
aspect.
think, from what I've heard, I think the number one priority for most parents in the district is that Clearview and Harrison are as close as possible. So a lot of people do rely on the older children to watch the younger siblings on days off midweek. If we don't approve this draft tonight, though, Clearview will most likely approve theirs Wednesday, and we're right back with this same one anyway.
We don't typically approve the calendar this early.
Okay.
Like, we approve the calendar in April, historically. I mean, there's been exceptions to it, but this year, there's so much talk in the county over this calendar.
Yeah.
And, you know, it came up, this discussion we started talking about this in January and February, which is not typical for Harrison. We've approved the calendar in April.
And if I'm not mistaken, in the past, we have tabled it.
I'm waiting for
Absolutely.
Clearview. I do
Tabled it
remember
for
that.
all kinds of
Yeah,
reasons.
I remember for
The
Clearview.
calendar is always a pretty lengthy discussion. Understandably. I mean, this is great. Yeah, the people have to plan their life around the calendar. And we, as an elementary school, have an unspoken or spoken responsibility to understand that we have 5-year-olds in the district that need childcare. Clearview does not have that discussion typically. I mean, when you look generally, Clearview students certainly do not need as much childcare, and our families aren't putting that much emphasis on who is going to care for their children as we are. So we have that responsibility, and that's why I started the conversation with Clearview has not approved their calendar.
Can we take that suggestion you were just talking back to them tomorrow before their meeting Wednesday? Like, could we?
Clearview's superintendent and myself and Mantua's superintendent have met over this calendar 4 times. So he's certainly well aware of the options, right? And he also has to keep in mind that there are reasons that he's going to want to match other high schools in the district, other high schools in the area, which is not necessarily something that we face. So again, I understand that each individual board member has a group of people that maybe reached out to them, but I sent this calendar to 1,600 people and got 9 back. So we can't really go by all the people that I spoke to. I mean, how many people out of the 1,600 are each of us, because I certainly have had those conversations too because I live here, but how many people of these 1,600 people that this is affecting do we all know personally? Like when you really look at it, and to see this small number of people that took the time to reach out, and I mean, some of these emails are 1 sentence, so it's not like it took, you know, but they did reach out, but the vast majority of this community had a month and did not reach out to the like I directly emailed them and asked for feedback, and that isn't, you know, this is what I received back. So I'm not necessarily, I think people just want to know what it's going to be for the most part, because it has been my experience in this position that when I send out an email and ask people, if they want to provide feedback, they certainly are able to do that, you know, and do it pretty quickly. But waiting to see what your high school district does with the calendar, I think is something that we have a history of doing. And I think it makes perfect sense. Now, I'm as close to 100% sure as I can be that I think this calendar is going to be approved starting before Labor Day by Clearview. Because again, they're keeping in mind both Harrison and Mantua, who they transport for, so there's a lot of information that they take in, as well as surrounding high school districts. So I believe that Clearview is going to approve the calendar with the longer spring break. Because Mr. Werschak gets the same feedback I get every year. Because of the number of people that emailed me over this draft calendar, I get more feedback every year of people asking for a longer spring break than I got for this. And the couple of surveys that I've done over the last 10 years or so, I think I've maybe surveyed 2 or 3 times, it is very close to 50-50 on who wants a longer spring break and who doesn't. So I do think that there are families that like to travel in the spring, for whatever reason. And I think that group is going to be less likely to provide feedback to that email. But even the group of people who are not happy with the longer spring break or starting before Labor Day, it is a minimal number of people that provided feedback when they were provided an opportunity to do so. So we can table it, pull that off, and just wait and see what Clearview does. And then I can provide that information as soon as I get it to all of the board members, and then next month I can come with the current draft that's in front of you that most likely is going to match Clearview's, and then the second draft with some of the other things that.
Second draft meaning like.
A shorter spring break and starting after Labor Day.
I feel more comfortable with that option.
Okay.
Agreed.
I'm not comfortable making a decision tonight. Not to follow Clearview, but just, I feel like we need to discuss this more.
Okay.
Okay, so, do we want to, like, the table, like, how about?
You can basically,
Yeah.
yeah, you could just say, all in favor of tabling number 3, excuse me, for a later date.
So we're all in favor of tabling number 3 for a later date?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so now,
I did have one other question on number 1, because, we have registration and mileage in, but this conference is in DC, is there a hotel built into that registration?
It is not built into the registration, so they're going to have to follow the state legislation on where they can stay and for how, and they're going for 1 night. So they'll have to follow what the regulations are for that. They're just going for 1 night.
That was like really driving.
That-
I didn't know that,
Yeah.
I'm like, it seems crazy to drive back and forth from DC if they're
There-
sitting somewhere, but I didn't know what the rules were.
They're going for the day that is the actual presentation, and then the following day, which apparently is a much longer and encompasses all schools, everybody, all that. They're not saying for that day.
It just didn't seem like enough money for talking, that's why I was like, that was slow.
They're saying
They'll
at
make,
hostel.
they'll know,
Yeah.
they'll, based on that zip code, they'll know what their hotel they can stay in, and they'll decide who's staying where.
okay. All right, so this, we're voting on items 1 and 2, and 4, 5, 6. Okay. Roll.
Todd Baron,
Yes.
Tim Bast,
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen,
Yes.
Walter Bright,
Yes.
John Cavanaugh,
Yes.
Janette Coslop,
Yes.
Colleen Kendrick,
Yes.
Alexis Rubino, Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So there's nothing under policy, nothing under transportation, and there's 1 item under the buildings and grounds. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Walter Gray. Second,
Second.
comments or questions? Okay, roll call.
Todd Baron,
Yes.
Tim Bast,
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen,
Yes.
Walter Bright,
Yes.
John Cavanaugh,
Yes.
Janette Coslop, Colleen Kendrick,
Yes.
Alexis Rubino,
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Is there any new business?
I guess I just have one question. I know we're not in school on July 4th, but what has a school district that's going to celebrate the Independence Day?
So it's the 250th anniversary of our nation, and we will not be doing a culture fair this year, which is a pretty big event that we do each spring.
Right,
So
right.
instead, we are doing a celebration of the 250th 50th anniversary of the country. So that will be in, yes. Kids already started doing, projects based around that focus. Okay.
I have no business. So like I mentioned, when I was getting in the process of getting feedback on the calendar, not only did I get feedback on the calendar, but I had numerous people reaching out again about the audio call-in option and why we got rid of it in the first place. And it's gotten to the point where like I can't really ignore it anymore. I know the committee got rid of it back in October, November, whatever it was, but I think we should probably put a full vote on the board whether or not to bring back the call-in option. I think there's a lot of parents who wish they could get in on the call-in option, but have other things going on, they can't be in person, and I don't know why we wouldn't bring it back at this point. So I want to make a motion to bring back the call-in option. John, I did do a pretty good deep dive into the surrounding sister counties as well. And ours, I think total, I had it right, it's only about 5 or 6 that even offered. One of those was only in emergency situations, but it doesn't seem to be a norm. And we looked into that pretty. Yeah, I know it's not required, but it just seems that, when we're now a school to watch and everything else, it just seems draconian of us to say, you have to show up here in order to listen in. Like, I couldn't make the meeting in January because I was stuck in travel, and I couldn't even call in, I'm a board member, and listen to what's happening. So like, how do other people feel about that?
You said you did the deep dives in like surrounding.
Yeah,
areas of
our
town.
surrounding counties and our own as well.
In November.
It just isn't a practice, it isn't a requirement.
No, it's not a requirement. In November, I reached out to the state board to kind of get a feel for them on, they didn't have an exact number, but they said it was gonna be, a fair amount, statewide, so I can't speak locally, but at the state board level, they said they are aware of a lot of schools that do offer it.
Yeah, that on the website.
I was gonna say, we did a county study, and we discussed that in our October, I forget what month it was, I think our October committee meeting. And the same thing with what Todd was just saying, that in the county there were, and I don't have it with me, of course.
Yeah, I
didn't bring it, but yeah, there's not many in the county that do offer either. And again, I think we had stated that the only reason we had it was during COVID. We never had it before COVID. And then we obviously introduced it during COVID, we kept it a couple years after, and then, when we looked at history as to how many call-ins we get each month, we went back at least a year and a half, and it was so minimal, like, we were.
No, I remember, I remember.
There were only like 1 or 2 calling in. It wasn't like they were 10, it was, the numbers were so minimal.
Yeah, some months there were.
And what is
Yeah,
it?
I remember you
Yeah.
reported.
Do you know what it costs to do that often like that?
$8 or something?
6.
Like a month or?
Budget cuts, who knows? Take it
I'll
out.
do it right now.
No, I was at the committee meeting, right, then the township committee, aren't they, looking at you? Both of you, actually. Isn't the township committee adopting something like that?
No. We had it, I mean, this isn't, I'm not here to speak, this isn't a public session right now.
So they adopted something.
So you made.
So, but in actuality, a motion can't be made in order to do that here, but it can, because we have an agenda and the agenda is,
So we could make a motion to put it to a vote, to put it on the agenda,
they could be put on the next agenda.
or this one, we could vote right now to bring it up.
I wasn't aware that we can even do that at this point.
Well, I mean, we also couldn't have the committee take away something without full board approval, that happens, so.
Understood, and at the same time, the committee also, the full board didn't approve to put it on back in COVID time anyway either. It was just done as a.
What was there, it was used, so.
Understood.
Could we add it to next month's agenda and then have a discussion in between now and then?
Yeah, that's usually the way it would be.
Yeah, then we can pull those reports that we don't have the.
Yeah.
I believe a motion can be made now. Like, we would follow the same practice as we followed for any motion, second, and then vote.
Okay.
So are you saying we're voting for this right now?
We can, yeah, a motion can be made by a board member.
Okay, so if you make it, I'll second it. community advised that we didn't.
Yeah, we
Yes.
didn't need a, yeah, that's
Correct.
All right, so John, your motion is,
To restore the call-in option.
Does that include the option of the
Alexis,
community?
second.
Alexis, second.
yeah.
And then we're voting individually as yes, no, or abstain. If we approve.
Yes, we need 5 yeses.
Roll call.
Todd Baron.
No.
Tim Bast.
Yes.
Jennifer Bowen. Walter Bright.
No.
John Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Janette Coslop.
No.
Colleen Kendrick.
Yes.
Alexis Rubino.
Yes.
Shannon Williams.
No.
Motion is declined.
Next, old business.
Oh, actually, one thing on new business, sorry, I didn't get a chance to get in there. The financial disclosure statements, there still are a few that aren't completed yet. Please send them to me as soon as you can.
Now, audience participation. So please wait to be recognized, state your full name and address, limit your comments to specific items, and 3 minutes. Dee.
29 Maple Leaf Drive. Wasn't planning on speaking, but I just wanted to address the motion. I just want to say, as a community member and the union president, it's disappointing that the 5 people voted not to have the audio option. It does no harm to allow everybody access. Just like John said, there was a meeting I couldn't attend in February, and, you know, I couldn't listen in. So it's confusing and disappointing.
No?
Ray Alvarez, 632 Bainbridge Drive. I want to piggyback off of that and say, you know, thank you to the board members who moved to approve that motion, and I just want all of the board members to consider bringing it up again next month. Not only just for the telephone option, but consider other options also. You know, I'm here recording and I post those online. I very much like to not feel like I should do that, and if the board would just do it themselves, that would be amazing. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and thank you again.
Anyone else?
So over the next 10 years, there are approximately 1,000 rooftops or front doors planned in development within the township. I know that there is a significant consideration for a bond referendum for the roof and the equipment on the roof. But considering 1,000 rooftops or doors, forgive me, that the average residence in Harrison Township has 3.5 people in it, 27% of those are school-age people. That would introduce roughly 900 students to the population over 10 years. Understanding all the budget constraints we have that are being put down on us by the state, a bond referendum, and then on top of that, the potential of school expansion or building a new school potentially to accommodate that kind of growth is obviously long-range planning. Either way, if something goes on the roof, if there is expansion within this school, I would imagine there's a possibility that whatever's put on the roof will then have to be discarded in order to expand. So all I'm saying is I hope everybody's thinking about this from a long-range planning perspective, because the growth plan in our township is pretty significant over the next 10 years. Second thing I would say as it relates to the call-in, I think community involvement is a great thing. I think in person is even better. But I would certainly support the call-in, especially when I think I heard it was only $8 a month. So $80 a year, and we could have full community participation. So thank you for bringing that to the agenda.